think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Money Level Show, where we think, act, and prosper. Today we're going to talk about how Russia has cut off natural gas to a couple of countries, and this is very concerning. I mentioned that Russia came out and demanded that these countries pay them in rubles, and some of these countries are not in line with what Russia is doing, and so them not being in line with what Russia is doing, they are not caving into Russia's demands. Therefore, the natural gas got cut off. So I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in poverty. I remember not being able to make some bills, my parents not being able to make some bills and such, and having, the hot water cut off, or like the water cut off, or, things of that nature. And this is very alarming. A lot of people in those countries may not be able to access their energy as much as they could before. So what are they going to do? I mean, they have to get some energy from somewhere. I know the United States started exporting natural gas to some of these other countries in support of them and how Russia had leverage with the energy. But I mean, Russia's pretty much calling the shots because they have access to the energy, and energy is life, as you all know, Doomberg likes to say. So let's go ahead and look at this. So first things is that the ruble actually bounced back, and it is actually more valuable than it was pre-sanctions. So looking at this chart, you see that, January 24th, the ruble was about 78 rubles per dollar, right? And then it dropped down about 76. Russia invades Ukraine, goes up to about 133. I actually think it was a little bit more than that. But 133, I guess maybe it closed at 133 that day or whatnot. So sometimes it may have been more rubles that you could buy with a dollar. But now the ruble is actually 72 rubles per dollar. So the ruble has bounced back. Shows that the sanctions did not really work. I mean, it worked temporarily. Everyone was excited and everything. The news was hyping them up, hyping, everybody up pretty much, like, oh yeah, these sanctions are working. But now, the Russian ruble has rebounded, and it is actually looking better than it was pre-sanctions. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that they halted gas supplies to Poland and Bulgaria. So it says Russia demands payment in rubles to shield it from sanctions. The European Union denounces gas cutoff as blackmail. I don't even know how to say this. Kyiv reports some Russian gains in villages in East Ukraine, and then they're talking about the war. But and specifically, it says Russia halted gas supplies to Bulgaria and Poland on Wednesday for rejecting its demand for payment in rubles, taking direct aim at European economies in a move that also exposed confusion in the European Union on how to respond to Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The decision, denounced by European leaders as blackmail, comes as Russia's own economy wilts under sweeping international sanctions, and as Western countries ramp up arms shipments to help Ukraine fend off the new Russian assault in the east. So as we can see, Russia is not playing around. They actually saying that, hey, we're going to cut off your gas and your energy. So yeah, I mean, that's just is what it is. This is a power play, obviously. And so Gazprom, I'm actually invested in Gazprom. So they have some huge pipelines that have been built throughout Russia and throughout Europe, and they have been supplying energy to Europe for a long time. And so Russia's gas export monopoly said it had completely suspended gas supplies to the Polish and Bulgarian gas companies due to absence of payments in rubles, as stipulated in a decree from President Vladimir Putin that aims to soften the impact of sanctions on the Russian economy. Now, that's alarming. So another thing is that for European gas buyers, I mean, they made their payments in rubles. So a person close to Gazprom says 10 buyers open ruble accounts, no more cutoff seen until the next rubles payments due in May. So 4 European gas buyers have already paid for supplies in rubles, as Vladimir Putin demanded, according to a person close to the Russian gas giant Gazprom. Even if the other buyers reject the Kremlin's terms, more cutoffs after the halt in gas flows to Poland and Bulgaria Wednesday aren't likely until the second half of May, when the next payments are due. So they're saying that the next payment's due in May, and more countries may have cutoffs of their energy supply, and this is going to ultimately impact the citizens and everything. So if you can see, like what I say, like when I talk about how these politicians make decisions that ultimately impact us, the people, I'm not for what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. I'm not for that. I don't support it or anything like that. But I just know that the leaders in those positions are making decisions that affect us, the people. And so who suffers? The people that need natural gas, that need energy to heat their homes, that need energy to be able to turn on their lights and go to work and all these other different things. So they're the ones that are suffering. Politicians hardly suffer. So this is just how Russia has been operating. They just been firing back at the sanctions. It says Russia rejects German gas payment from seized trading unit. So Russia's major gas bank rejected a payment from a trading firm that Germany seized from Moscow's control, the first sign of friction following the takeover amid a broader regional energy dispute. Gazprom declined payment for some April and May gas deliveries to Germany and Austria under contract with Gazprom Marketing and Trading Ltd, even as the company sought to pay for the fuel using a rubles account as Russia demanded, according to people familiar with the matter. Now, this is alarming too, because Germany depends on, I think, 40% of their energy, their natural gas comes from Russia. And so they had a dispute that happened, and Russia's saying like, hey, we're not accepting your payment now. So Russia's definitely firing back. I mean, the media that we look at may not tell us this stuff. They don't tell us this stuff a lot of times, but there's always something that's happening on the other side of the coin. So I always try to look at both sides. Now, Italy, I mean, they're ready to open up ruble accounts in Gazprom. And so it shows that when you control energy, you have a lot of power. When you have a lot of power, you can force people to do this, because if people don't do this, then the people suffer. And if the people suffer, the people revolt. And so Russia is clearly playing their cards in this situation. I'm sending my heart and prayers out for everybody that's impacted by, the leaders' decisions and all these different things. And it's a hard situation, but this just is what it is. So what do you all think? Leave your comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe. I just want to know what you all think about this whole situation. Obviously, I mean, we've been hit article after article, news channel after news channel with this. We've been fed a lot of propaganda. I mean, the situation continues to go on. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on this? And let's discuss. So thank you all for joining the Money Level Show. Peace.